Hello, hello, hello. It is Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker, and it is Mindset Monday. Important day of the week because we are beginning our week. We are getting our minds together, getting them set, getting them right, so that we are in a position to accomplish the things that are important to us today, this week, this month, this year, so that we are establishing the good, healthy habits, the discipline, the mindset to create the life that we desire. So, with that being said, today's mindset, we're really going to focus on how mindset affects our self esteem. Important topic because you guys will see near my name when I'm live, under my face, the voice within wins. That is something that I stand by. I believe wholeheartedly that we can have the most wonderful experiences. We can have all the opportunities in the world. But if we don't have the right mindset, if we don't believe in ourselves, if it's not clear to us that we're capable and deserving of the life that we desire, then we will not accomplish most of the things that are right within our reach. So don't even think about the things that are difficult, the things that we really have to plan and work for. It all begins within, with our mindset, how we think and see ourselves. So if we can work on that, then we've got the opportunity to have the life that we desire and even desire differently. When the way you look at yourself, the way you feel about yourself will determine what you're even willing to believe you're capable of. So let's look at what mindset is. What's the difference between a positive mindset and a negative mindset, or a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset? When your mindset is growth or positive, then mistakes are accepted. They're a part of life. You realize that they're a part of life, and they're learning opportunities, not something that confirms for you that there's something wrong with you. When you've got the right mindset, you can take all of you and you can love and appreciate and see the value in yourself just as you are. So we began by really tapping in and touching our inner voice and hearing that negative messaging, if it's there, that's playing inside of our heads, and grabbing hold of that and beginning to do the work to change it. We have to talk back to it. We have to say, you know, I'm good. I'm good just as I am. I'm okay just as I am. I'm lovable. I'm worthy. I'm capable just as I am. And when you believe that about yourself and you slip up or you make a mistake or something doesn't work out the way that you intended, it's not soul crushing. It's just another data point. It's just something for you to learn from. And you begin to do the work right then and there to take in the lesson from that experience. And then you can adjust and make different choices, make different decisions so that you don't repeat what didn't work, but you learn from it and use it to help propel you forward as well. When our mindsets are not growth oriented, or when they're more on the negative side, we tie every action to our actual being. If I'm doing well, then I'm a good person and I'm okay. If I'm not doing so well, then I'm a bad person or I'm not worthy. And when we have that mindset, just imagine what a roller coaster emotionally we're on all the time. We are more than our activities and our actions and our results. We're living, breathing souls that are doing the best that they can most of the time. And sometimes things work out and we celebrate, and other times they don't and we learn. And if we can get to the point of seeing when things don't work out the way we anticipated, seeing that as a learning opportunity and not as some confirmation that there's something wrong with us, when you can make that mind shift, there's so much more out of this life that you can achieve. Grow, learn, live, try, make mistakes, adjust, and keep going. That's the cycle. That is the cycle that we're looking for. But all that, instead, we focus so much on what didn't go right that we end up feeling shame and inadequate and incapable of accomplishing the things that we want. And we actually talk ourselves out of the life that we could have. We actually don't even allow ourselves to dream sometimes about that life because we have such low feelings and understandings about ourselves. And that is where the work really is. There's always things going on externally. Things are always going to happen. Life is going to keep lifing, and things will keep coming our way. But when you make that shift and you see that those are things and occasions and activities, and you learn and you grow and you adjust, when you figure that out, everything that doesn't go your way is not such a soul crushing thing. A positive mindset is going to encourage self-acceptance. You're going to take yourself, good, bad, and indifferent, regardless of the type of day that you're having, regardless of the level of success or whatever that you're experiencing right now. You accept you wholly, and you know that in your entirety, you're good enough. In your entirety, you're deserving. And when you get to that place of self-acceptance, you that's one box you can check, and you know that you're moving in the right direction on the mindset scale. And one of the ways that you're going to get there is positive self talk. You have got to replace the negative messaging. And sometimes, right then and there, as soon as you hear yourself, even if it's not verbal, but when you catch that internal messaging and that something negative is popped up, acknowledge it. Don't just brush it away. Don't just push it down, but actually acknowledge it and reframe it right then and there. I knew I would never be any good at this. Stop yourself right then and there and reframe that and say, I'm new. This is my first time trying this, but I'll get it. It may take me a couple tries to figure it out, but I know I'm capable of doing this because I've accomplished all the other things that I've tried. If we actually would really look at our history, we would see that our life teaches us that we're capable. It teaches us that we're able to get up and dust ourselves off and keep going, but we don't focus on the things that we've accomplished. We have a tendency to focus on what we didn't and allow ourselves to create that negative internal environment that doesn't even deserve to be there in the least bit. You've done more with what you have than not. You just have to look at your life and see that and believe that and allow that to motivate you. That self talk, the ability to speak life over yourself, the ability to encourage yourself is a skill. Hey, Black Girl Magic, that is a skill that will carry you through every phase of your life. Whatever it is you're going through, sometimes the environment around you is going to be negative. Sometimes the input that's coming your way is going to be negative. But if you've got the right mindset, you have a shield against all that stuff. It may hit you, but it's not going to sink in. Negative messaging, ugly things that people say to you and about you, things that come your way, don't have any value whatsoever until you give it value. You get to decide how valuable every comment is that comes your way. Do you realize that? Until you take it in, until you own it, until you accept it as some sort of a fact, it means nothing. Sometimes people come through scrolling, trolling rather, on social media, and they say the ugliest stuff to me. And sometimes I laugh. And a lot of times when I reflect back on it, I feel sorry for that person. I'm thinking, what is wrong with that person that that's what they choose to do with their time? So I turn it right back on them because somebody speaking negatively, somebody speaking ugly to you, about you, against you, that's not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of the individual. What comes out of your mouth is what reflects. How you live your life is what reflects. How you show up and interact with the people around you and the people in your life, that's what reflects on who you are. What somebody says is actually a reflection of them. So you get to choose how much value is given to any of that. And I encourage you to put your shield on first thing every morning. Look yourself in the mirror, tell you how great you are, tell yourself how much you deserve. And then when anything flies in the face of that, when anything is trying to tell you differently, a lot, keep that shield up and just block it. Don't give it any value. You'll know you're giving it value when you start to feel bad, when you start to get upset, when you start to get emotionally invested in that thing. It's time to check yourself, because we can't control what other people do. We just can't. As much as I'd like to have a magic wand and touch a few people and make them genuinely love me, make them like me better, make our relationship smoother, I would love that. But I've lived a good portion of my life trying to make it happen, and it hasn't. So eventually I have to realize that I can only control myself. So if I show up and I am my authentic self and I'm doing the best I can in the relationship, and what I'm getting back is negativity, then I just need to change where I'm spending my time. It's time to get up and move and reconnect with somebody who values me, somebody who enjoys my time, someone who actually cares about me. And you all owe yourself that level of assessment of every relationship. If you're showing up in a space where you're not being treated well, then you've got to ask yourself why do you keep showing up there? Why? And then deal with that answer. Maybe you feel some sort of loyalty or obligation. Maybe it's because of the relationship as someone that you do absolutely have to interact with. Okay, but know that and put them emotionally in their place. Tell yourself who that person truly is, regardless of your relationship with them. I don't care how you're related or how long your history is. If that person does not like you, there is absolutely no, you are never going to be good enough for that person. That whatever they're carrying, whatever is going on with them, you can't change it. All you can change is you. So the best thing that you can do is change your where you're ending up. Decide right now that that person is not the right person for you to be pouring your energy into, and then do something about it. Make a change. Love yourself enough to control the environment that you allow yourself to be in. It's important. That's a part of your self care. And then there's resilience. When you have a positive mindset, when you have a growth mindset, when things go wrong, you can bounce back. Because again, it's not you that's wrong, it's the results of whatever you just were a part of. It didn't work. Things didn't go the way you intended for them to, so you've got to make some adjustments. But guess what? When your mindset is right, you're going to focus on those adjustments. What do I need to do differently? How do I move through this situation the next time better? How do I not repeat and get the same results? Because I don't like how this came together. I don't want this. So if you don't want it, you have to do something different. So your energy is very well spent looking at the adjustments that you can make and incorporating those into your life versus beating yourself up and having that negative self-talk. We are resilient as a people. We really are. If we stop and think about where we began versus where we are, or different relationships or situations that we've been in, and yet we stand, we're still here, we're still moving forward, one foot in front of the other, we're still accomplishing things. When our life told us years ago that we wouldn't be anything, we wouldn't accomplish anything, here we sit. But instead of allowing that message that says you're never going to accomplish anything to continue to play, and allowing that message to hold you back and shackle you to your past, instead, just adjust your vision just a little bit. Adjust your vision to see where you started and how far you've come, and everything that you've come through and everything that you've accomplished. And then you get to look a little differently at your life and go, oh, yeah, that is, my beginning did not dictate where I am today. And you feel good about that. And you allow that to encourage you to continue to move forward. I see quite a few people have joined in my world, everyone. Thank you. God bless you as well. Miss Diamond Diva, greetings. Billy, one of my most beautiful cousins. Thank you for joining. She said inspiring info from LinkedIn. Maisha, I see you. Kim, there's my sister. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you guys for being here. And Black Girl Magic she is connecting with me today. And I see your comments coming through. Eva, I agree with your writer, Miss Queen Carter. All right, Black Girl Magic, this is so good. Thank you so much. So much. I appreciate you guys for interacting. It helps me to know. Oh, Cynthia, that's you, Miss Diamond Diva. Welcome. I'm glad you found the live. I saw your message come through that you couldn't find it, but as you can see, I'm kind of in it now, so I didn't have a chance to respond. So I'm glad to see you joined. And so far we've talked about the positive mindset or a growth mindset, how it affects our self-esteem from the standpoint of self-assessment, positive self-talk, and resilience. So those are three great places, but there's more. How about your goal setting and your achievements? A good part of my coaching business is based on mindset. The voice within wins. And I really focus on that. And once we've got the mindset together, once we know who we are and we can look in the mirror and see our value stripped down, no spit and polish, just as we are, if you can love and see the value in that person, and you believe that you deserve the things that you desire, and you believe that you're capable of achieving those things, now you're ready for goal setting. Prior to that, you can set goals all day long, but the likelihood of following through is very, very difficult because you've got that negative messaging that's holding you back. So once we've cleared that out and we're sure of who we are and how valuable we are and what we deserve, goal setting becomes much, much easier. You see your value, you see who you are, and you see the life that you would like to live, and you believe that you deserve to have it and that you're capable of having it. So now you dream, you set back, you close your eyes, you think about the different aspects of your life. When I think about my spiritual life, what do I want that to look like? When I think about my family life, what would I like that to look like? When I think about my career or my business, how should that look? When I think about my relationships with the people that are important to me, my spouse or my significant other, my children, my siblings, my parents, my best friends, when I think about those relationships, how do I see them playing out? Where do I live in the world? What am I doing? Who am I spending my time with? I mean, take all the constraints off, remove the constraints of money, remove the constraints of time, remove them all. And for a moment, allow yourself to dream. And while you're dreaming, allow that life, the picture, the vision of that life to come forward. And then you take a look at, okay, well, I see that, but that's not quite how my life is. Oh, over here, the relationships, how I would like them to be, I'm pretty good there. And then where you see the gap, where the things do not align with your reality, that's where you can start setting some goals. I would love to travel more. Easy enough goal. But what does that mean? Where do I want to go? What type of things am I doing? Who's with me? Am I taking my grandkids? Is it a family trip or is it me and the hubby? Is it a girls' trip? What types of things do I want to do? How do I spend time with my parents? I'm lucky enough to still have living parents. How do I spend time with them? What are the types of things that we're doing? Maybe I see myself in a situation to pay off their debt so they can relax. What does life look like in my dream? What's my dream life? Once you've allowed that, then you pull a couple of those. You pull the ones that are really more than dreams, but desires. Those are the ones that you really want to make some traction against. And then you start to say, how do I get there? This is what it looks like way over here. Here's where I am today. How do I fill that gap? One step at a time. And that's what we do with my goal setting workbook. Cynthia, I know you were looking at that yesterday. We take the dream first. And from that dream, we're going to lift a couple of big goals that maybe it's going to take us a year or more to accomplish. And then we take those goals and we break them down to, okay, a year has 4 quarters. What am I going to do each quarter of the year to move me towards that goal? Well, a quarter has 3 months. What am I going to do each month of that quarter to move me towards those goals? A month has 4 to 5 weeks. What am I committing to each week to move me towards those goals? A week has 5 work days in the weekend. What am I going to do each day? Break it. You've taken your dream and you've turned it into a couple of goals. And then you turn those goals not into just these big ticket items that can be so overwhelming, but that actually become daily activities. And one day feeds into the next day, feeds into a week, feeds into a month, feeds into a quarter. And before you know it, you're a year in, and look how far you've come. If you stay in that dream state where you're thinking about the life and how much you want it and the things that you want to accomplish, you'll still be thinking about it a year from now. If even if you're trying to get 6 months out, it can be so overwhelming. That's why I really try to get people to keep peeling back, keep peeling back, keep peeling back until you get all the way down to what am I going to do today? What am I going to do tomorrow? Daily little bitty bites. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. There's no way you're going to get the whole thing in your mouth. No way. One bite at a time. That's how our goals are as well. They can be huge. If we'll break them down to those daily activities, you'll look up in a couple of months and be amazed at how far you've come. And that's what that's a big part of my M3 success cycle, really helping people hone in first on clearing out those negative messages. And once you feel like you're good there, now it's time to start setting those goals. Big ones first, dreams. We dream before we set goals. And then we get into that goal setting mindset and we figure out what it is you really want to accomplish. And we walk that thing all the way back to today. What is it that you're going to do today to start walking towards those goals? And then I'll help you stay accountable. We meet, we talk, and we work through it. And you'll have other accountability partners. There's people in your life that's a part of your journey and so it's really important that some folks really know because they'll help you. They will help you cultivate your dream. They'll help you stay on task and they'll call you on your stuff when you're not. And so those things are important as well. It's really important to have people that you can entrust your dreams to. That's an important part of your life. And everybody, some people are dream killers, some people are dream stealers. So everybody doesn't deserve to be that up close and personal. But it's important for you to know who your real support system is and bring them in, talk to them about what it is you're trying to accomplish and watch them cheer you on, and you never know who you're motivating along the way as well. I see a lot of activity over here, so let me step back for just a moment and record. Miss Divine, thank you so much for the rose and the comments. And Black Girl Magic, I saw you say this was your first time here. You will be back. That makes my life, that makes my whole life for today. I love to have people join in, to interact, and to return. I so appreciate that. Asana Sati, I see you on Instagram. And so I thank you guys so much for joining from all over the place. We will keep going. We've talked about self acceptance, we've talked about positive self talk and resilience, and we just talked about goal setting. You are so much more likely to complete the goals that you have for yourself if you've got that mindset together. So having that self-esteem is important. And it's a part of healthy self-care. A positive mindset will promote that. You'll take care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. And when you find things that upset your peace in any of those areas, you'll do something about it. You'll draw your boundaries. And not only will you draw them, but you will honor them. When you truly believe in you, when you truly are in a place to where you're going to put your mask on first, but when the plane is going down, when you get there, you will set boundaries. You will honor boundaries. You cannot make anybody honor your boundaries but yourself. But what you'll find out is who is really there for you and with you, and who you need to step away from or spend less time with. Your boundaries are your fence, that's your protection, that's the no crossing zone. You stay within those, and when you see who honors those, and that's your people. It's important to know who your people are. All of your people may not share the same DNA as you. I have got some friends who have been friends of mine for 30 years, and I trust them with the worst of me. I've got people in my family that I've known my whole life that I don't trust with the best of me. They're looking for the worst. They want to see me do bad. And as sad as that sounds, I know it to be true. So I'm careful. I'm careful with them. But then I've got people who we met along the way. We met in college or we worked together at some point in time, and they have become like family. And there is nothing that I wouldn't trust them with. And I don't believe that there's anything that they wouldn't do for me. So you have to know who your people are, and you have to be brutally honest with yourself. It doesn't hurt my feelings nearly as much about the people who not are on my team because I don't focus on them. I choose to focus on the ones who are. I choose to focus on my people because that's who's going to be with me. That's who's going to pick me up when I fall. They're never going to get an ounce of enjoyment out of me stumping my toe. But that's not true for everybody. Some people like, oh, she thinks she knows everything anyway. So it's good to see her stumble. That's not a reflection on me. How they think I think and how what they think I think of myself, that's a story they've made up in their head and they're living it out. So everything I do, they're going to filter it through that. So you have to get to a point in your life to where you're okay that some people are not going to be okay with you, even if they should be because of relationship, who you are in each other's lives. Just be okay with the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror. And once you're okay there, then you can kind of accept a lot easier what life brings your way because you don't value yourself based on what somebody else said. You know who you are. And when people say things that don't align with them, you're looking at them like, what's wrong with them? They don't get it at all. They're so confused. That's where you want to get. Protect your peace, protect your image, protect who you are. Don't let anybody else define you. I don't care what you've been through. Do you have a difficult past? Have you struggled with some things? Who hasn't? For some people, it's easier to see the struggle. They may have some physical things left behind, but the fact that you've come through it is to be celebrated. It's not something that should hold you back. It's not something that you should be judged for. You should be celebrated for making your way through difficult times. We've all had them in different degrees. And so you got to look in the mirror and go, wow, you really did it. You really kicked that habit. You really figured out how to do this thing. Yes, Kim, right. Absolutely. What you've been through is a testament of your strength and your resilience, of your ability to keep going no matter what life throws your way. It is not something negative. I don't care what it is. It's only negative is if that's what you assign to it. I don't care what anybody else assigned to it. What you assign to it is what gives it its power. So it's either your story of resilience or it shackles you to your past and holds you back. You get to decide, and if nothing else, that's what I want you guys to walk away with. When we're talking about mindset and we're talking about self-esteem, I'm saying you get to decide how everything that you've ever gone through, everything that you've ever accomplished, everything that you've ever dealt with, good, bad, or indifferent, you add the value to it. Don't let anybody else, this mystical thing called society, this big old thing that has taken us through called family, it doesn't matter whose measuring stick it is. The only one that really matters is yours. If you can make peace with your life, and if you can see the value and the gifts out of everything that you've gone through, you're ready for whatever the world has to offer, and you're ready to create the life that you want for yourself. Nobody can hold you back when you have that mindset. So my prayer for each of you that can hear my voice is that you understand how powerful you are, how much in control of your destiny you are. You just got to get in the driver's seat. You have to realize that, and you have to decide that you're going to drive, and you're deciding the route that you're going to take, and you're deciding. We make choices all day long, and most of them we make subconsciously because we're just going, going, going. But when you wake up and you realize that every little choice that you make is taking you somewhere, it's taking you on the journey, then you'll start to stop and ask yourself, but is this the journey I want to be on? Is this the direction I want to go? And if it's not, once you have that awareness, guess what? You can change direction. It's waking up and being aware and knowing, then you're okay. All right. So next up is we talked about resilience, we talked about goal setting, self-care, gratitude. Gratitude is one of my favorite. I absolutely love gratitude as a state of mind. I love gratitude as a tool. I love gratitude because it is something that can immediately shift your mindset. When you wake up and start your day and you are thinking about what it is that you would like to accomplish, not what it is that you'd like to accomplish, but what you're grateful for, when you start your day thinking about that and you end your day thinking about that, you have bookended your day with positivity, and you set your focus on what you have versus what you don't have, what's going right versus what isn't. And that type of mindset will immediately start to shift. Imagine if all you thought about was the things that were going right. You're probably going to do more things. You're probably going to be more open to try things. And if things don't work out, it's okay. You just get up and you shift and you try again. And that's the beauty of a positive mindset. And that's the beauty of gratitude. It will immediately start to shift you. You can feel it in your body. You can feel the change. You feel lighter. You feel less pressure in your chest. You start to smile even though there's nothing happening because you are thinking about the good things in your life, and that will draw, guess what, more good things to you. So it's a great, great, great tool that everybody has. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't matter where you fall on the economic scale. It doesn't matter your gender. It doesn't matter your race. It is something that is completely within your control. You can grab hold of gratitude. You can help it shift that mindset, and it can help you look at life differently, and help you to start moving forward. And you want to surround yourself with positivity. Look at your environment. Are the people around you typically positive and lifting you up? Or is it a bunch of people that are petty and always talking about somebody else and basking in somebody else's misfortune? What kind of people are you spending your time with? What kinds of things are you watching on social media? What are the TV programs that you're watching? You have to mind your input, because what we put in is all that we have available to us to bring out, right? You can't just eat rice and think you're going to bring forth beans. It's just not going to work. What you put in is what's going to come out. So, minding your input and being really mindful about what you watch and who you spend your time with is super, super important. Sonia, hey, Nisi Poo. Let's see. I see somebody. Good afternoon, Simbre. Are you really wanting to join the live? I'm going to bring you on and I'll take a shot and see wants to join the live video. Let's see what Simbre has to say. This is a first. On my audio rooms, I get to do this all the time, but on the lives, I typically it's just me. Hey, Sonia. All right, there you are. Huh, Cynthia? It's you.
Hey.
How are you? Do you have something you want to share about mindset or self-esteem with everybody?
No, I just got through working out,
Okay.
and your feed popped.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you were already there and you can hear me. But when you asked to join the
Okay.
live, that puts you on camera and now everybody can see and hear you.
Okay.
So that makes you like a
Okay.
co-host.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon.
Cynthia and I go to church together.
All
So,
right.
yep. So thanks for joining. I appreciate it.
All
I
right.
was wondering.
Thank you
I
so
didn't
much.
realize what your IG handle was, so I wasn't sure who. I was a little apprehensive. I was like,
Uh,
Lord, I don't know who's coming and what they're gonna say, but I'm gonna trust the process.
all right.
All right, thanks. So we're
So,
almost done. Huh? Did you say something?
no, I was just gonna say.
Oh,
No, I
okay.
was just gonna go back and just listen.
Sounds good. All righty. All right. So we talked about surrounding yourself with positivity. There's a good example right there. Positive person. I love her dearly. We were just at church yesterday working together. They had an event at church afterwards where they had all of us who've been published or authors in any way set up in the back. So we got to share our books and courses and things that we've published with our church. And Cynthia was back there helping with that. So that was great. All right. So let's see. Just a couple of more things, surrounding yourself with positivity. And we've kind of talked about challenging your negative beliefs. That's really the mindset stuff. That is really, 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 really what I am all about. If I don't do anything else, my desire is to work with people who are in their own way. because in their head, life has taught them some bad interpretations out of trauma, some tough people, some tough situations. Something has taught them that they're not valuable. Something has taught them that they're not good enough. When you find the people who are overly people pleasers like me, like I used to be, people pleasers are so afraid of being abandoned. They're so afraid that if they say no to you, that you're no longer going to like them, you're no longer going to be a part of their life, that they hold on, they do more than they should, they take care, they'll say yes when the yes could be detrimental to them, but it's fear based. And I don't want to operate out of fear. I want to operate from a place of love. And that love starts with, first, my vertical love, my religion, my relationship. That's the first one. And then my love for myself. If I don't truly love myself, I'm not going to put myself in a position to be successful. I'm not going to put myself in a position to create good genuine relationships. And then I've got to love those around me. Some people I have love for, I've never laid eyes on, but there's been some sort of a human connection over time, and it's just happened. And I am a love thy neighbor type of person. It is easy for me to love you just because you're here, breathing, human. And then after that, that's when the struggle starts, because we actually start to interact, and maybe things go well or maybe they don't. But as people, we're called to love. And if we can operate from that place, just imagine how differently we would interact with people, and how wonderful the world would be if everybody was operating from that space. And when you have a good growth, positive mindset, you do care about how you're affecting other people. And so, and when those things are not going well inside your head, own it. Listen to it. Don't push it away, because if you just push it down and try to pretend that it's not there, it just keeps growing and getting stronger, and before you know it, a quiet voice is screaming in your head. And that's not what we want. We want to recognize that it's there, and we want to reframe it. Whatever that next negative message is, if nothing else, just repeat back the opposite. But usually we can do better than that, because once we actually hear it, we understand where it's coming from and what it's trying to say, and we can flip that thing on its head just by speaking the truth. We've buried our truth under our trauma. And that's what we want to undo. If we start to heal this trauma, we can peel back and get to the truth of who we really are and how valuable we really are. And I think that's our life's work, because all this other stuff, when you get yourself together internally, all these other things align anyway. It is difficult when you're hurting. It is difficult when you don't believe in yourself. It's difficult when you're coming from a place of hurt, to be kind, to be loving, to be a good corporate citizen, to be a good person. It's difficult because you're in pain. Just think about having a headache. When you have a headache, you need to kind of get to yourself and be quiet and do the things you need to do to make that thing go away. That's a pain that everybody can understand. But when you're hurting on the inside, and it's invisible, and it's things that most people don't even know you've been through, then they wonder why you lash out. They wonder why you say ugly things. It's because you haven't healed. But guess whose responsibility is for your healing? Yours. If you see yourself lashing out, if you see yourself being less than who you really are and how you interact with people, at some point in time, you've got to take responsibility for that and do some real healing. And what that looks like for you is extremely personal. For me, I had to go to therapy, and I still go on a regular basis, because it's important for me to have that outlet. I need to have somebody that's not a part of my family, that's not a part of my friend circle, that's non-judgmental, that just wants to hear the facts, at least from my perspective, and help me learn how to process them. The coolest thing about therapy is we don't ever talk about anybody but me. I may come in with a scenario on how I've had a difficult situation with somebody, and that therapist is going to turn it around and want to know about my participation in it, why I allowed it, or what my contribution was. And I learn about myself, even though going in, I think I'm about to talk about somebody else. Every single time I learn something about me. And that's the beauty of it. And so that negative self talk, You can control it. You can get that under control. You just have to be able to be willing to do the work. I've got a course that'll help you. It's called Transforming Your Inner Critic into Your Inner Advocate. It's a free course. You guys can drop me a DM or leave a comment where you're watching, and I'll email the link to you. It'll help you. It's a short, just a mini course that introduces me and my coaching style and the things that I focus on, but it can really help you start to reframe, first connect to that negative messaging and really hear it, and then start to do the work to reframe it so that you're not a prisoner of it for the rest of your life. So okay, Cynthia, I'll send it to you. Cynthia, DM me your email so I can send it to you. And then you want to embrace growth and learning. Divine Fire, if you would just drop me, if you don't want to do it directly, you can DM me your email and I'll get the course right over to you. And then you want to embrace growth and learning. We are never going to know it all. There's always somebody who knows something that we don't. That's what makes life exciting for me. There's always something to learn. So continuing to expand your knowledge in whatever space it is. If you're struggling in a particular space, there's no better way to get better than to start to learn a little bit more about it. How are the people who are successful in that space? How do they do it? What books did they read? What courses did they take? How did they get there? Even in your relationships, if you've got a broken relationship with somebody and or you're having the same sort of experience over and over again, try to take a look at that thing and see if you can get to what it is so that you can find the topic and you can take a course or you can read a book or you can follow people who talk about it on their lives or whatever the case may be. There is so much information at our fingertips all day, every day, that whatever it is that we want to learn, whatever it is that we want to overcome, it is there and available to us. Thank you, Olu. I will get it to you right after the live is over. And then you want to celebrate the successes. Sometimes we forget that part, but it's huge. Celebrating our successes encourages us. It reminds us of it helps you to keep going. It reminds you of what you've accomplished, and it gives you just that little mental break and that moment to recognize the progress that you've made, and that will encourage you and make you know that you can take the next steps. When you celebrate your success, you're looking at how far you've come from where you started, right? It's a milestone, just like a birthday. Every year it's a new milestone. You celebrate that success. You put that marker down. Here's where I am now. And before you know it, you've moved past that and you've hit another milestone and you've got something else to celebrate. And it doesn't have to be a not down, drag out party, but you need to stop every once in a while. Stop and take inventory of all that you've accomplished, all that you've done, and just give yourself a break. Give yourself a atta girl, cheer yourself on, and getting in the habit of that will continue to encourage you to keep moving forward. So that is it, guys, for today. Our talk on positive or growth mindset and our self-esteem. I'll run through the points really quickly. When we're operating from a place of positivity in our mindset or a growth mindset, we're talking self acceptance, positive self talk, resilience, goal setting and achievements, healthy self care, gratitude, surrounding ourselves with positivity, challenging those negative beliefs, embracing growth and learning, and celebrating our successes. Hey, Shay, I look forward to talking to you later. We need to connect. I'm excited about our meeting. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow, Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, we talk about transformation every Tuesday. So that will be 7:15 a.m. Central. Tomorrow, Tuesday through Friday, I'm on at 7:15. Mondays are the only times that I'm on at noon, working around my corporate work schedule. So I will see all of you that decide to come back tomorrow at 7:15 a.m. Central, and we will talk about transformation. And don't forget, if you're interested in the course, drop me your email and I will get it to you just as quickly as possible. I'll start shooting them out after the live. I see quite a few of you have asked for it, and I appreciate that. And I look forward to your feedback. So, you guys go off and have a wonderful rest of your Monday. remember that part of doing that is just believing in you and having the right mindset. It will change how you tackle everything. If you need to talk to me more about it, or if this is a topic that you struggle with, DM me. We can talk about that as well. We can set up a quick conversation to see if maybe something that I offer may help you. That is why I'm here. One negative message at a time. We are going to save the world. We're going to turn this thing around, and we are going to have the life that we desire, because we can and we should. So with that, I'm Cassandra Terry, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining.